live. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Rich. Rich Talk with Rich is back. Another week, another episode. What's good, everybody? Want to just hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Hope you guys had a great holiday. We back in the building. Shout out to Black Comic Lords, Black Superheroes Forever fam. We in the building. We here to do this doggone thing another week. And tonight, you know what I'm saying, I wanted to squad up. So Derek, super producer, to bring the squad on board. We got the lovely Angel in the building. I got the Chief Dundada Paul, and I got Imperious Flex, Dr. Wizard, Derek in the building, our producer. So what's good, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
Good. All right.
All right, good. Glad you guys could be here with me. Now, we Black folk, and I don't know if we all celebrate Thanksgiving or Family Day or whatever. How was everybody's holiday?
It was good. Lots of good eating.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I enjoyed my celebration of the indigenous peoples of America.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We would have one Debbie down in the building. What about you, Derek?
Hey, it was great. Good food, time with the family, a little bit of time to rest. Who could ask for any more?
Absolutely, man. I brought my pops. I went down to Houston, went and got him. He hung out with me for the whole week, and Lord knows, I'm grateful to God that I'm able to spend time with my 82-year-old father. Man, I had a wonderful time. We didn't do the traditional turkey. We did Cornish hens and a slab of ribs, and all I cared about was the cornbread dressing. And my wife's cornbread dressing goes hard. So I was just glad to get that. And man, just good times, good family, good food. So that's what's up, y'all. So anyway, we got a show tonight. So let's just go. We don't want to delay the time. We've been behind the scenes. So upcoming this Tuesday, we have a live interview with the incredible Tim Fielder talking about this Thursday. I'm sorry, I thought it was Tuesday. Yep. Talking about Infinitum. Among other things. Tim Field is an incredible artist, a writer, I should say. If you do not have this book, Infinitum, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I respectfully say that because that book is incredible. There are people that use the word epic to describe their IP or their story that they're telling or whatever. And most times it's just an episode. Okay? Infinitum is an epic, and it is incredible. And I don't know how old Infinitum is, but when I read that book, I could not put it down. And I'm going to tell you how good of a book it is. That book is so good that I was at a comic shop in Houston, and it was another guy in there just, in the comic shop, just looking for different things to read. I love that book so much, I bought the book for the dude. Did not know him. Complete stranger. And I said, like, bro, you need this in your collection. That's how good that book is. And I shout out to Imani Latif, because he's the guy that put me on it. And I remember him saying, talking to someone, man, he said, this is what Black Panther should be or could be. And I just if I can get this every day, twice on Sunday, sign me up. So guys, Thursday night, y'all tune in, man, because that's going to be an amazing conversation with the incredible Tim Fielder. So yeah, that's what we got coming up. So stay tuned. So let's get into our stories. First story, well, not necessarily story. We want to talk about books that are getting ready to come out. New York City's Mayor Cage. That is so funny saying that. Mayor Cage.
Yes.
Luke Cage is the mayor of New York City in the Marvel Universe. And part of his duties, he's had to give up being a superhero in favor of enforcing the city's current laws against costume vigilantes. But the gang war crossover is about to kick off, and Luke gets his own tie-in title, and he'll be forced to take to the streets as a hero in defiance of the laws he is now sworn to uphold. Sound like some trouble. So we have some interior pages that we're going to look at, kind of scroll through it. This is actually the book that's written by Rodney Barnes. Man, look here. When I found out Rodney Barnes was doing a Luke Cage book, I was like, you boy, you know it's gonna be good. You know it's gonna be good. So here's the thing, and the art, including the cover art for this, is gonna be written. I mean, it's gonna be drawn by Kanan White as well. So that's gonna be pretty amazing when you think about it. So this is actually a story, a street story, where there is a anti-vigilante act that Luke Cage has to kind of like enforce. And so he runs into Danny Rand, who is the former Iron Fist. At this part of the story, Danny's not the Iron Fist. So it's kind of weird. He lost the Iron Fist back when they had the last Iron Fist run. What's it called? Heart of the Dragon, I think it was, or something to that effect. Okoye was in the story. It was like a 5-issue run that Marvel did. And so I guess they're catching up. Luke Cage and Iron Fist, they've been buddies. That they ace boon coon. So they're going to be kind of working together in this book. And want you guys to look forward to that. That's coming out on November the 29th. So basically this Wednesday, go to your shop. I hope you've already pre-ordered it. If you have not, put it on your pre-order list. So yeah, that's what's coming. So guys, let's talk about Luke Cage for a minute. Okay. First of all, I wasn't necessarily a fan of him becoming mayor of New York City, only from the standpoint that I just like, Luke Cage beating people up. Can't beat people up if you're the mayor. I'm just saying. So yeah. So guys, what do you think about this book? Are you guys going to pick it up? Are you going to check it out or what?
Well, I'm of course going to pick it up, in large part because when we interviewed Rodney Barnes about him doing a Luke Cage book, he promised that he would put me in it. So I will be on the lookout for my visage to be included in this book, as Mr. Barnes has on record, it's on tape.
Wow.
He said, if I ever get a Luke Cage book, I will put you in it. So, Mr. Barnes, if you watch this,
okay,
That's
I'm going
funny.
to put it down.
I'm
We'll
gonna
have to
have
put
to ask him about that.
Yo, we're gonna have to put Derek. We're gonna have to put Paul on the Black Comic Lords website. First appearance
I think
of
so.
Paul White Davis in a
Well,
comic
I'm
book.
gonna warn y'all for now. And this, I might be actually talking myself out of it. But if it does happen, I'm gonna act ignorant as hell. I'm warning
That's
you.
a doggone thing. Calm down with that. All the shenanigans. So yeah, y'all look forward to that. What about you, Angel? Are you a Luke Cage fan?
I am, as far as some of his adventures, like the older comics. I have not kept up with the new storyline. I know he's mayor now. I haven't. He hasn't captured my attention. It might change now that Rodney's writing his story. So I'll take a peek on the digital version of the comic storyline, and Rodney's really good, so
Yeah.
it may capture me again.
Okay. What about you, Derek? You gonna grab this?
Well, you can kind of see some of the Rodney Barnes stuff behind me, so I'm excited. I want to see what he's going to do.
Derek's excited about having my first appearance in a 9.9. That's how Derek is going to flex on me.
Oh man.
I'll pull out my raw copy from the LCS, and he'll be like, "Oh, that's nice, Paul, but here's my 9.9 of you that you can't have."
Yeah.
That's the Paul spec. Yeah, so I'm going to jump in on that.
What's interesting about Luke Cage is that he has been in a period of always being redefined from his original run, right? In the 1990s, 1992, I think it was, where he had his book that was written by Dwayne McDuffie, was it not? I don't remember, but in the 1992 run, that was the run that really sort of made me a fan of Luke Cage. He was kind of trying to redefine himself and change his image, and he just went by the name Cage.
Right.
Then you
Right.
had the Marvel Max series, which is a whole nother direction. But the real sort of big redefinition of the character honestly came with Michael Bendis's run with the New Avengers and making him not only a full-blown superhero, not just a hero for hire, a full-blown superhero, but made him an Avenger and then leader of the Avengers. That was huge.
Yeah,
That was a big leap for his character, for someone who has always sort of existed on the fringes of superhero society, making him not only a full-blown superhero, but an Avenger, but a leader of an Avengers team, taking a stand in the Civil War, also being defined as a husband, a father. These are big moves that Bendis sort of made with the character. He really gets a lot of he should get a lot of credit for that. But since that time, they haven't really found a place for him. Since his Avengers run ended with Mighty Avengers, there really hasn't been a place for him. You see cameos of him here and there where he's, changing a diaper and then he runs out and beats up a bad guy. But in terms of a day-to-day, what is his role in Marvel? They haven't really defined that. He seems almost semi-retired. So having him be mayor at least gives him something to do and gives another layer to the character.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Looking forward to it. I do definitely think that, of all the Luke Cage stuff that's out there to view, to consume, his run with the Mighty Avengers was incredible. My favorite Luke Cage book is Luke Cage Nior. It's a 4-issue run, which kind of puts, it's one of those stories where, he's more of a detective or whatever. It's an amazing read. You can get that in a trade. If you can find the floppies, that's cool. But Luke Cage Nior is a pretty good, piece of work to have in your collection if you're a Cage fan. So with that said, shout out to everybody. Y'all go get them books. Shout out to the chat. We see you in the building. We got to thank you for coming. Thank you for 1 in 100 podcast. Pericles, we see you. Tron World. The Queen Sierra's here with us tonight. John Styles, De La Soul. What up, what up, what up? Thank you guys for joining us on tonight. We're going to get into this. Now we're going to transition to another article. We're going to talk about the Queen, Storm. And I want to kind of get a little deep tonight.
Oh,
and I might trigger Paul, but it's okay. That's what I do. That's what I do.
So I need to have a disclaimer ready.
Nah, you good. You good. You might need to get a disclaimer to him.
I honestly,
let me get it ready.
May require a disclaimer, Derek. I'm just going to tell you ahead of time.
Okay.
Listen,
the disclaimer.
Article says Storm journey to the afterlife in Resurrection of Magneto is the first look. Okay. Storm is about to start her journey to bring Magneto back to life. As in an X-Men Fall of X series, the X-Men lost Magneto during the Marvel event Judgment Day when he gave his life to defend Araco, which I think sucked, but that's just my personal opinion. Even though the X-Men have their own mutant resurrection protocols that can bring any of their fallen back to life, Magneto chose to have his records wiped from the system. Theoretically, there shouldn't have been a way for X-Men to resurrect him. But with this being comics, we all know that isn't the case. This is the setup of the limited series, Resurrection of Magneto, with Storm leading the charge. This book, Resurrection of Magneto, is going to be written by Al Ewing, drawn by Luciano Vecchio. And the preview starts with an ominous look at Magneto, who has different variations of his signature helmet. Laying on the ground beside him, Storm wakes up from a bad dream next to her lover, Craig Mitchell. Shout out to all you T'Challa fans. Anywho, who tries to console her. Can we see those panels? Can we see those panels?
We don't need to see the panels.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We need to see.
Is that Adam Bashir? Who's that to the left there?
You funny.
No, so seriously, anyway. Who's that guy to the left? Is that Adam Bashir?
Got like white hair. Like, who's that guy?
You got Adam to me. You wanted to be Adam. So all we know is that the two of them stand before some teleportation spheres with Storm charging headfirst into one. This takes her to a place in the afterlife where she's greeted by Tarn the Uncaring. who Magneto famously killed early on in Magneto's X-Men Red run. And before then, there's some cosmic figures like the Living Tribunal and Death. And finally, another figure from the afterlife, Storm's ancestor, Ashaki, appears before Storm. So, this is like it's going to be pretty good, bro.
It sounds more compelling than her run, too.
Well, of course, anything's compelling more than that. But so the description of resurrection of Magneto reads, life, death on Krakoa, resurrection from the dead was as easy as completing a circuit, but Krakoa fell. The time of easy miracles is over, and only the hard roads are left. Now it falls to Storm. The epic conclusion of the Krakoan age looms to bring their oldest enemy home to fight against the fall of the House of X. But after all he did and all that was done to him, can Magneto bear to return? We can find this. Look for this. This goes on sale January 24th, 2024. So the thought is, okay, she's going to resurrect him, right? Is he going to be the same loving Magneto from the Krakoan era? Or is he going to have an attitude and go back to being the Magneto that we love and adore? You know, Storm is getting a lot of exposure as a character. This is only going to add to her resume. And I'm here for it, guys. So is that Herschel?
Yes.
Yeah, Herschel with the bald head.
Man,
He jumped in.
He muted himself. You muted yourself, bro.
You're
Unmute
muted.
yourself. There you go.
yo, thanks, Paul. Yeah, I'm finally here, man.
Okay. And go get a late pass.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we were talking about Storm. So I'm looking forward to this book. Al Ewing's writing it. He seems to be the only one that has the clue how to write Storm. So yeah, and it's going to be a book that you should add to your pull list. But let's get into the real conversation. Your boy Paul talking greasy about Storm.
I haven't said a word. How you taking this? I haven't said anything yet.
You literally called him. You literally called him in a live with me, corny Craig. Craig,
no, that's not what I said. I said Craig, the astronaut, the corny dude.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, put it in context. He is an astronaut, but no, you want him to be with the king. You want him to be with the emperor. You want him to be with T'Challa.
You want to know my feelings on it?
No.
You asked me, so you open the door. I'll show you my feelings on it.
This guy here, man.
So here's a little tweet that went out that I sent out, admittedly. Well, looks like Storm has fully rebounded from T'Challa with astronaut Craig, not a god.
No, girl.
Let me finish. Not a god, emperor, king, or superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Just Craig, the non-threatening, corny dude. At least this time, it's not Wolverine. T'Challa forever.
Yeah.
Oh, we're at 260,000 views.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys get triggered easy.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah, you guys get triggered easy.
Listen.
You guys get.
I mean, like, who cares?
Here's the thing.
Like, what? She should have.
Yes, I am an unabashed member of the cult of Bast. Everyone knows this. I recognize that. I recognize I have my inherent biases. I recognize that not everyone appreciates the concept of having the most powerful Black superhero ever, the superhero couple ever depicted in Marvel Comics still be a thing. That's fine. I'll stand on that square on that lonely island with me and my fellow Cult of Bass members. But there's a larger issue at work here. In a larger scheme of things, Craig is not a corny dude. I just call him corny because he's not a superhero. People don't read superhero comics by Marvel to see an astronaut. That's just not something that we do. Is it an astronaut that shoots laser beams out of his eyes? Sure, that'd be cool. But he's just an astronaut. He's a nice guy. Women should get with nice guys. It's fine. But this is comic books. And one of the things that I've always been passionate about is the concept of black super love. Having two black superheroes as a couple. Even more so, a family. That's a whole other conversation. But let's just start with a couple in an ongoing series at Marvel or DC, the mainstream books. It just doesn't happen. It's very rare. And Ta-Nehisi Coates finally got them back together in an organic way that resolved all these issues that people don't read comics like to tweet about. And the last run by He Who Shall Not Be Named by Me destroyed all. So yes, I'm a little bitter about that. For me, Craig, the corny dude, is beneath her. If she's not going to be with T'Challa, fine. I'm not fine with it, but fine. Let's, for the sake of argument, say she's not going to be with T'Challa. Put her with another black superhero. Make up a new black. There's a crazy concept.
Black superhero. What's wrong
Maybe
with you?
make up a new black super. Are they allowed to do that at Marvel? Can anyone answer that for me? Are they allowed to make new black superhero
stuff there?
Yeah.
I mean, we just had a guy named Ghostlight just created, right? Ghostlight doesn't have a girlfriend. Maybe have her meet Ghostlight. He's on her level.
Well, Paul, I'll say this though. Do you have any objections with Superman married Lois or Peter Parker with Mary Jane? I agree. This
isn't Superman comic lords. This is black comic lords.
Yeah,
okay?
but it's the comparable there.
No, it's not. No, it's not, because those questions don't come up in the white community. They don't go, oh well, Superman should be with so and so because of this. That's not the debate. You know what? The thing is. Why can't we as a people simply accept that we're entitled to have and like nice things too? Mm-hmm. Why do we always have to settle for less and make rationalizations and excuses as to why we can't have more? Stop settling. Stop settling, fam. It's not necessary. Do you really make excuses for Marvel? Oh, here's an excuse as to why she can't be with it. Here's another excuse as to why no. Don't settle.
I don't think it's an excuse. I would simply say, I mean, historically, Mary Jane. I mean, nobody looked down on her. She was normal. She was a normie.
I want Reed Richards and Sue Storm.
Okay,
do we have that? Do we have that?
Yeah, absolutely. But do you really think T'Challa and Storm are really good for each other? The way?
Yes, I absolutely do, and I can show you a dozen issues that say that.
We ain't got that much time, guys. Real quick, Angel, you were going to interject. What was you going to say?
My interjection is he's not less than anything. He's a black man that's an astronaut. How many of those do we even have?
More than we have black superheroes that are with black superhero males that are with black superhero females.
Look. Let me say this, Paul. Respectfully to what you said, okay? There's a book that came out this past week.
Yep.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
And T'Challa was there.
Here goes the troll.
And that book kind of worried you. And here's the thing about that book, okay? All your little worries kind of like, I'm probably sure if you read it, it was a sigh of relief. Here's the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine reminds T'Challa, you lost old girl twice.
Right. he loses everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about T'Challa. He can throw hands. He's a scientist. He's a gazillionaire. But in the romance category, he leaves something left to be desired. Now, we all know this is all based on the writing that they're doing. Absolutely. And I understand the whole thought of making T'Challa and Storm a black superhero duo, and that would be too much for a lot of people. I'm gonna be honest. I think that for as Marvel is concerned, they don't really want to do that, because I'm gonna tell you why. I think one of the reasons why they don't want to do it is because people are going to want more and more and more of that, till almost ad nauseum. Could you imagine if they really did that?
Why are you downplaying that? That's the point.
Hold on. I'm not downplaying anything, Paul. I'm simply saying that if they did that, what happens with the Black Panther run? Do we got to have a regular Black Panther book? Do we got to have a Black Panther and Storm book? Do we got to have a Storm and X-Men book? Do we got to have the kids got to have a book?
You mean what you're in essence asking, Rich, is if we're in for a penny, we're in for a pound. That means that we have to commit to actually making these black superheroes real, like actually make them have some agency within Marvel, carving out a space and doubling down and committing to the concept that black people can be regular superheroes too. They have all the same rights and adventures and agency in this organization as the rest of the superheroes. That's a big commitment. But
of course
this is the 21st century. We can't have that. We got to settle for less.
You literally, let me tell you something. You literally will pull the focus. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I do not think that Marvel at this point, that this day and time, I don't really think they have a focus. I really think they treading on water. The MCU's in trouble. We'll talk about that later.
Run with what you just said. They would literally pull the focus. Right?
That's the point.
What you just said. That's exactly what happened when they were married. They pulled the focus. That's how Hudlin wrote them. They pulled the focus of Marvel comics
into their family. Yes, they did, because I have those comics.
I mean, Hudlin wrote them that they were the preeminent couple at Marvel. Period. Yeah. So much so that he even wrote a run where they joined the Fantastic Four and Reed and Sue went out on a break.
First family. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They were the power. Look, I'm old enough to have been around back then and read those issues when they came out. They were the buzz. They were the center. They were the power couple of comics. It was a big freaking deal.
How do you feel about Misty and Falcon? Nothing.
It's not about that. Look, see, you bring this up all the time. It's not even funny. Notice what I said. In an ongoing comic, you can have Mal Duncan and Bumblebee in a couple cameo pieces here and there. Mm-hmm. You can have Misty and Falcon in a couple issues here. Notice what I said. I said in an ongoing comic. Doesn't happen. Am I the only person that cares about this stuff? I can't be the only person that cares about this stuff.
Paul, you're gonna make me go ocean. Let me go ocean floor on them, okay, guys. Let me get this real quick.
Drop to the abyss, my brother. I'm here. I'm down here looking at y'all up here. I'm
fixing down to the level. I promise you ain't finna like what I'm finna tell you, but you're gonna have to listen. Here's the deal. Herschel brought up Misty Knight and Sam Wilson.
Yeah. Great couple.
The average Black American
don't even know who the hell they are.
That part. And guess what? Black Americans have more in common with Sam and Misty than they do with Storm and T'Challa, because they're African. No one wants to have that conversation.
And that's the facts. That's sad, but
and that's why we have the issue we have. Because guess what? Let's say if Storm got with someone like Cage. Let's say she got with someone like I'm trying to think another black. It's so few of them. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to think of another black superhero in Marvel that she could quote unquote talk to. Bishop. Let's say Bishop.
That's her son. That's a God's.
Yeah. See, it's so much into that. But what I'm getting at, my point, Paul, is this: is that yes, we can celebrate Storm and T'Challa, but that's clearly not what Marvel wants to do. So why don't we celebrate the black love that is there?
Where? Listen to my question.
So,
where in an ongoing comic is it?
Let me add. Okay.
Somebody answer that for me. I'll wait.
Go ahead, Angela.
To Paul's point, there is a problem with a solid black family unit. That has been a mantra of many companies, including Marvel, to dismiss that we have any solidarity at all when it starts with the couple. That's one.
Black independent comics.
Right, but I'm saying in the major streamline, that has been the story that's been told over and over again, that Black couples don't stay together. There's no solidarity. There's no family unit. So to Paul's point, I agree 100%. Where I disagree is when you do have a character like Craig that's random. First of all, Craig is being, very helpful. Okay, he's being very helpful in a very needy time. Okay, and he's an astronaut. Okay, so he doesn't have to have a cape and laser eyes. That's all I'm saying.
Craig's a nice, comfortable shoot.
Look,
he could have some powers. Like Paul, you know what? What are you going to
Herschel,
do?
if you start saying Craig has powers, I will.
Wait. What are you going to do? He's never going to be T'Challa. But what are you going to do if he turns out to be somewhere between T'Challa and Blue Marvel? He turns out to be a freaking mutant.
We don't know.
Yeah, you're going to
understand what I said. Understand what I said. I started this, but I've addressed all this already. I started by saying, yes, I'm biased towards her being with T'Challa. But at the very bare minimum, I referred to Craig as the corny dude purposefully. He's an astronaut. Look, any woman who comes, if my daughter goes out and marries an astronaut, no one's going to be upset. Right? He's a freaking astronaut.
Yeah,
right? That's actually kind of a good thing. So I'm obviously being facetious when I refer to him as Craig the corny dude because he's an astronaut. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. As I said, this is comic books. Storm should, in my opinion, I would like to see Storm with a superhero, regardless of who that is. I want to see Black super love. I would love to see Misty Knight and Sam Wilson in an ongoing series. They just ended Sam Wilson's Captain America series, and they were a kind of a couple for like the beginning and end of that. I would love to see Monica Rambeau and Adam Brashear in an ongoing series, but that's not there. At best, what we have is Miles Morales and Starling. That's the best we got, and they're kids, and they don't really show up in every issue.
And it's weird.
That's all Marvel has. This company's almost 100 years old. That's all we got.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Marvel is not. Listen, we do not own these companies.
Which is going to go to Herschel's point.
We do not own these companies, which means that if we're looking for them to give us something that, quote unquote, we want, it has to be in their interest. It's not clearly in their interest. I mean, to me, every Black Panther Storm fan should have had their heart broken, and almost to a point of being black pill when Jonathan Hickman said in that interview that he had planned to make her pregnant, and Marvel said no.
Mm-hmm.
They are clear that that's not what they want to do. They are clear that they will keep up the toxicity between the two of them. They'll keep their relationship at a tense level, but they have no interest in doing what Reginald Hudlin tried to do. I just don't think that they do, and you're not going to get it.
Do y'all think do you think that's going to also? I don't know what Hudlin's numbers are at, and I'm not going to do what I always do and say, well, if it's not going to make no money, why should they? And I get that, but at the same time, do you think folks are going to still be crying about, oh, they need to get together? Meanwhile, they got a whole Black Panther and Storm run going on, and people are still not going to get up out their butt and go pre-order like EVU. And do you think, Paul, the cult of Bass and just Negroes at large going to get out here and buy it consistently to keep it more than 5 issues? Because see, that's what
money does talk. Yeah,
I mean, but hold on, but to that point, Angel. But that point, Black Panther just made $1.6 billion. Yeah. And granted, I know dude died, and it was like, no, we're done. So does money really drive them? I think their agenda drives them a little bit more.
It does.
On that point, Herschel, you and I are in complete agreement. I think it's more than money. I don't think money is solely what drives them. I honestly believe Marvel has agenda stuff that drives them. And then beyond the agenda stuff, is the fact that Marvel at this point is simply a promotional arm for what they have going on in the MCU. They're no longer the origin and source material for the MCU. They're the promotional material for the MCU.
Kamala Khan.
So if exactly, I mean, I like to see Kamala Khan's numbers to see why she's getting so many books. That's kind of the question, right? And to your point, if Marvel is about Does it help promote them? Does it benefit them? Is what you said, Rich. Well, Reggie Hudlin did that one where they were together, and went 41 issues with it. So I think his numbers were good enough to go 41 issues.
Yeah.
And cancel the book. He walked away.
Yeah, it had to be.
Right.
Well, I will say this. We got to move on after this. I will say this about the whole situation. Me personally, I would love to see a black love story in comics. I really would. I just don't think that it's in the big two's interest to want to do that. Because again, part of the focus of comics is inspiration. So you don't want little kids looking at healthy black relationships. They might desire to have healthy black relationships.
Right.
So let's keep it dysfunctional. Let's keep it crazy. Right. Let's keep it triggering. Let's dangle carrots.
Right.
And then what I'm saying, you can find black love in this situation or in that situation. Because let's be honest, one of the most healthiest relationships that a black man relationship is in. We just talked about Luke Cage and Jessica. What's the last name?
Jessica, you don't know that.
Jessica Jones.
Kind of makes Jessica my point Jones. Of how unimportant Jessica that Jones. Relationship is.
But that relationship has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Hey, and a child is there. See, and that's the thing too. Think about Reed Richards and Sue Storm. You got Franklin Richards. You have no generational superhero talent in comics, period. So we either go and look for other alternative dudes like Gordon Mahan said. He said at the very least, in sport companies, Concrete, Advent, Godhood, that do. The antagonists are not a superhero group. They're villains, but they got love.
At least they're a family. That's why I prefaced it with, I want to see it in mainstream comics too. Indies got it all day. Mainstream comics, you guys are behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, look, they don't want to do that. Speaking of what they don't want to do,
they're doing exactly what they're designed to do, and it's not for us. It's not for.
Say that louder for the people in the back, Angel.
It's not by us, so it's not for us. Period.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the bottom line. It's not money driven. It's always the black couple, the black family unit has to be dysfunctional. That's always been the message since media ever even existed.
Yeah.
That point.
Listen, I'm gonna let's move on. But okay. Mr. DC Comics just dropped something. I'm gonna ask everybody to go do your research on the ESG score, because he's talking about BlackRock, and that's who basically is the puppet master even behind Disney. This is proven facts. This ain't no opinion. This ain't no conspiracy. Go do your research on BlackRock and go do your research on the ESG score, because that's why the agenda is headed in the direction that it's going. But that's a topic for another day. But shout out to Mr. DC Comics for bringing that point up.
That's what's up. So, all right, y'all. Let's get to speaking of agendas and the
Amir got jokes for me. Okay, Amir. Let's add Amir to the list.
Shout out to Johnny Law. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're not reading that book, Paul, shame on you. Shout out to Tron World for the super chat. That's what's up.
We need it. Thank you. Always need it.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that. So there was a movie that came out a couple weeks ago, and it featured three superheroes. And several weeks ago, me and Paul were talking, and he said, I'm just going to the movie to see Monica. I'm just going there to see Monica. I'm just going there to see
the Monica movie. The
Monica movie. That's what he called it.
Yes.
That's what I hashtagged. Monica movie.
That was not what we got. We got a movie with a Monica in it.
Okay.
But she was not the focus.
She was not the Captain of Marvel that I came to see.
And that, my brothers and sisters, is a problem. The last couple of days, we put some post up in the Black Comic Lords, Black Superheroes Forever chat. We got another super chat. Dilla Soul 22. We black and we proud. Already.
That's
what's up.
we might make our budget for another week. Look at that.
Anyway.
Thank you, Dilla Soul. Appreciate that.
For real. Thank you. So anyway, guys. So Monica Rambeau, I put up a post about why people should go see the Marvels. And I got a lot of pushback. Not from white people.
Uh-huh.
But black folk.
I know.
Wait, who again? Black
folk.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Yeah. People of color. If you want what's the other term? BIPOC people. All of these different terms. Let's just get to it. And the irony of Nick Fury saying black girl magic in the movie, there was literally no black girl magic in the theaters. They could have taken this opportunity to really make Monica Rambeau the superhero all of us have been desiring to see on screen.
Yes.
In more comic books. Most people do not know who Monica Rambeau is. And it's clear to me that the comic book community, because I wrote about it, we have black people who parrot white voices. And just because it's terrible, it's dead on arrival. That movie, people were saying that about that movie 6 months ago. Now, is it the best thing since sliced cheese? Absolutely not. There were issues. However, when did that ever stop black folk from going to the theater to see black people?
Never.
Shoot, there's a whole channel called Tubi.
Right.
That black people have made a mark on.
It's
not even half the quality of this film.
I'm trying to figure this out. Tiana Paris is a beautiful black woman, richly melanated. Should have been out front. Look at that fro. Look at that hair.
Her hair was popping. Oh man, I love it.
And while I'm sitting up watching Bamas, that's what I'm gonna call y'all tonight. I'm watching Bamas defend the fact that they don't go see it. Because they thought it sucked or it wasn't good. Or they tired of the MCU. Can we kill that for a moment?
Yes.
How many MCU movies have we really been? It's been what, like 22 movies? We had like one Captain Marvel, one movie. Yeah. Have we had women in other movies? Absolutely. But it's only really been one movie.
Yeah.
How dare they put women in my superhero movie? Women don't deserve to be superheroes.
I am so tired of these pasty. I'm so tired of these pasty Oreos that we have in these spaces. I'm like, why are you here? We black comic lords, black superheroes forever. We don't care how you feel about what so-and-so on the other YouTube channel say. It's about what we think. But nobody went to go see the movie. I sat there in the theater with like 10 people.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel movie. That's the crazy part about it. It's when Marvel put out a movie 10 years ago, you just went. You ain't have to know nothing about it. It's a Marvel movie. I'm going to see that. But now, and Herschel brought this up on the last squad show that we did. His fear was that this character is going to go into obscurity. You literally had one of the most anticipated black superhero women on screen. And there's no real clue as to when she's going to be back. Here's the other thing too. Let people tell it. WandaVision was one of the best Disney shows that was made.
Yeah, it was.
That she was in. But Bama decided to stay home. I don't understand it. I don't understand. I do not understand it.
Some of it. So we've got a lot of dynamic where in our society, again, as we just talked about with Storm and T'Challa, where the motive of big companies is to continuously bombard us that the family unit, the Black family unit, is dysfunctional. And the undertow of that is the Black woman is the least wanted, least protected.
Thank you.
And it's permeating in the dollars spent. So when they did a wonderful job with Black Panther and the part 2, which I went to see. I went to see Marvels. It was an amazing movie. It was on par with any of the other movies. But you have this anger and this rage against the Black woman, like she's the source of everybody's problem. So no, I don't want to go see her. I'm not spending my $10, my $15 in the movie to see some. And you get this bitterness. The source of that is needing to be in proximity. So the source of the Black woman is life itself, the birth of humanity. And you don't want to get away from that because we have the other side of the other culture that says, the other folks is right. And we need to be near that. So proximity, people wanting to be in proximity and however version that shows up, and it showed up here when people not spending their money to show support for one of me. That.
Yeah, absolutely. I co-sign all of that. Let's talk about these. Let's talk about these books. Let's talk about these books. Her first appearance, Amazing Spider-Man, king size issue, annual, number 16. A key, a Marvel key, not a Black key.
No,
a Marvel key.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody that's a Black collector that love comics should want to have this in their collection. Okay. Not only that, Monica has led the Avengers.
Yes.
For let me say this, Angel, for a long time. So she's been in large and in charge.
Yes, sir.
So how is it that a character that's been around since 82? 82?
Don't make me go grab my stack of Monica.
And been around since 1982, led the Avengers for a while. Like I said, a long while.
Avengers number 279.
If you don't got it, you need to go
You can go get it. You can still find that in dollar bins.
Yeah, you can.
Chillmonger said it's still a Carol-led film. I don't think that is where the bulk of the blame for the box office goes. Listen, I get that, Chill. And, to me, Miss Marvel stole the movie. Her story, for me, was the most compelling element of the story. Now, again, I'm speaking to the fact that a Monica Rambeau, Photon, Spectrum, the first Captain Marvel. Okay, right. Let's get that clear. The Captain Marvel that Dwayne McDuffie wrote about in the 90s. Okay,
Captain Marvel though.
I don't care. She was the first female woman. Okay, let's put some respect on this. And my thing is this: as comic head, we should have went to the theater just on general principle.
Exactly.
That's Mark Rambeau.
Absolutely.
So I don't care that you don't like Brie Larson. I don't care that you ain't got no love for Miss Marvel. But if you're a comic head and that's in your collection, you should have been motivated, if nothing else, to go check it out on screen. And here's the thing: like I said earlier, she was in WandaVision, and people look at WandaVision as one of the best shows that Disney put out.
Yep.
What are we talking about? And again, I understand some people.
She's
Go ahead,
one of the
Paul.
most powerful Avengers of all time.
bro.
Right.
But here's the thing that not us, not y'all, but I think fandom at large that look like us. What was going on around the time that Monica popped up on the scene? That was in 21, right? January,
Right.
February, March. Black Panther had just died. That was on the hearts and minds of everybody. I mean, Monica jumping up out of the blue, people still was looking at Black Panther Storm. And yeah, Monica's doing it. I've been a Monica Rambeau fan. But for some odd reason, I think kind of on a little bit of lines to what Angel was talking about, we have this among us that there can only be one. And instead of there could be many and we could be happy
Right.
with multiple,
Right.
we always like, well, he's got to be the king, she's got to be the queen, and the rest of y'all over here. And I get it. But it does. I think it does damage when they do come to prominence, when they do get their own solo title, and then folks act like they didn't know it was out because they're so hyper focused on, well, there can only be this one. I think that's a big problem with us. We got to,
which goes back to my statement, Herschel, of Black people. It's okay for you to like having nice things too.
Derek, can you scroll down to that last comic book on screen?
Let me pull it up quickly. Take me a minute to pull it up. Keep talking.
Yeah. Okay. And I want to bring this part up as far as Marvel's how they view Monica Rambeau, because I think that's part of the problem. How they themselves see their character. This thing with them. Now that Ultimates 2. That issue, okay, who they got plastered in your face? They got Cal Danvers plastered in your face. Who, by the way, is really the Frenzy? I mean, Frenzy, not Frenzy.
Binary.
Who is the Binary in the comics? Okay, but that's another story.
Please,
temporary representation, as my boy Chill.
Clearly. So. She's featured on this comic book cover out front when the generals of that team are Blue Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Black Panther. But that's what they do.
But it's almost like back in the 60s when Black artists used to put out their album, they put a white person on the cover. Like
right.
Brown. It's the kind of the same thing because they feel like we put this Black character on. And I always lean on this, but it's like we gotta figure out how to show up when they do put us on the cover. Because when we don't, then that's their excuse to say, well, see what happens when we put you on the cover. See what happens when we give y'all something. Now we got to shorten it down to five series. That we keep giving them excuses because we're not going out and buying. But to this point, yeah, this is let me bait you in, even though this is the most diverse group ever, but I'm gonna put a white face on the front. I mean, that's the American way, man. But
where they're gonna think they're gonna get their money and supply the agenda. So you got two folds where, okay, we have this stereotype story that's been spinning forever, and then they know at the very least, the other folk is gonna buy. So they're gonna put the other folk on the front, as they always do, like with the music, like with everything.
Yeah. But so also too,
show up, then we're not going
also too, they recognize that there is also a community of folks that go in there and they're not thinking race, but a lot of people, even when they saw this was just crazy, and maybe this is me being naive, maybe this is me not calling it what it is. I don't know. Maybe I got a blind spot. There was a lot of white people even before while the Black Panther movie came out were asking, can we go see this? And I think a lot of them really think when it's Black oriented, it's not for everybody because they just grew up in the world where
everything was around them.
Right. And when they look at comic book covers and they see a Negro on the front, oh, that's for them. Like their mind is so. Now, granted, it doesn't always play the same for Luke Cage. It doesn't always play the same. Or back in the day, even collectors today, I would hear them really praise. But certain characters, man. For some reason, they just feel like, I guess that's just for Black people. That thing does exist. I go to comic book shops and every time they ask me what I'm looking for, I make it my business. Oh, Black superheroes, and they kind of pause, look at me like, oh, because you're black. You're looking for black. I'm like, yeah, well, you got some black superheroes, maybe in a bundle, maybe in a long box. I want to see, and I like to catch them off guard because that's not something that they're used to hearing. And a lot of times, they just be puzzled. But I think it's just the way that this America is just set up. Sometimes, man, it's just you can call it whatever you want to call it. But.
So yeah, that is a contributing factor. If they see us prominent in anything, it's a question of, oh, is it for me? Can I participate? You know, but then that's the remnants of separation that was had for a few decades. Okay. Yeah. So that's that. It's not our doing, but you know, that's that remnant.
Shout out to Tron
World.
Shout out Tron.
Hits us back again, back to back. Super chat. It says, "Welcome back to the facts. Representation is nothing more than a cash grab for Marvel and DC, or rather Disney and Warner Brothers."
Facts.
What can I say? Independent.
Yeah. That's
right.
what's up.
We keep up these super chats, and it might cause an overload. You never know what type of video.
That's what's up. So, look.
Hey, Rich, I wanted to surface there are a few comments I wanted to surface just to get your take on this.
Yeah.
Okay. She had so much build up and anticipation, but all the bad Marvel relations in between WandaVision and the Marvels have burned out interest in the IP. Marvel needs to step back and recalibrate.
Yeah. Listen, I last week I said on the show they need to take that sick dog back out behind the shed and shoot it.
Marvel really didn't promote this properly either.
They didn't.
I mean,
have a strike,
this is a movie. This is the first really big mainstream superheroine team up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
of all time.
Yep,
it's the first superheroine team. Why wasn't that put at the forefront of the advertising? Like, especially the little girls. My little girl saw the trailer for the movie and she was excited. She's like, "Daddy, can we go see that?" I was like, "Yeah, we'll see it. We'll see it as soon as it comes out." And she was excited. She couldn't wait to go see the movie. Got her to the movie. Bought our big tub of popcorn. She and I were the only two people in the entire theater. I'm not even exaggerating. There was no one in the theater but the two of us.
Right, but we had the other side of a writers and actors strike where they weren't allowed to advertise for months. So some of that, we don't know what they would do. Most likely it would have been the same. That's my suspicion, but we'll say some of it was from the strike.
I think so. Yeah. Go ahead.
I definitely agree with that. I think you've got a target market you want to hit, however you can hit it, and if you have a strike, you need a special plan to still hit that target market.
Right.
Obviously, you love to have Amon and Tayana and Bree go out on the junkets and do all their talking to talk about the movie, hit these target markets, but they can't do that stuff. You gotta have another plan, Disney. I just didn't see that Disney did that.
Man. No, they can promote anything. As Herschel would say, they can make a talking raccoon an international superstar. Yes. You're gonna tell me Marvel couldn't have put out a Disney Plus short series or Disney Plus one-shot movie that's an hour long that just has superheroines in it and call it the Marvels as a promotional tool? Get kids to see that and say, "Hey, I'm excited about seeing the first superheroine team on the big screen." They couldn't do something like that.
Hey, Barbie figured it out.
Put it on YouTube to make it free.
Yeah, Barbie did figure it out. Barbie hit that demographic. They didn't do it. They missed.
Wow.
And they have the power.
Mario figured it out, damn it.
Super chat. Okay, we've been asked a question. Let's get this super chat. Guys, can you rate your top 10 MCU movies, please?
Oh, listen, God, I hate this.
You know what? We go. That might be a bit much, Blur Forever. Can we do 5? Can we?
Let's do 5. We can do 5.
Yeah, let's try to do 5. But thank you for the super chat, for real.
Let's play this video first.
Yeah.
Chat overload. We're our
Technical
budget
difficulties.
week. I can't believe it.
Take it a little easy.
My
on
comic
us.
lords might survive another week. I'm excited.
That's funny.
Number one.
Herschel, you're on
Avengers
mute. I
Endgame.
think you're talking.
Are we gonna do our own separate 5 or
No,
We can do that.
because
Go ahead.
there's only one coherent list that everyone can agree on who has
Yeah.
any sense of
Everybody gonna
rationality.
get a top 5. Everybody's gonna get a top 5. Go ahead, Paul.
Number one, Avengers Endgame.
That's mine. Yeah.
That's what I said. No rational person could possibly debate that.
Anyway, keep going.
Number two, probably Captain America Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number
Couldn't argue with that
three,
one.
I'll say Black Panther.
Okay.
For pure nostalgia purposes and overlook all the flaws as to why.
All right, keep going, man. We got 5 people to get to. Keep going.
I'm stalling for time because I'm trying to figure out the other two as I'm talking.
Trey, you know what?
That's top three. Number four, Infinity War. Number five, I'm missing something that's obvious. I'm missing something that's obvious, and I don't know what it is.
Thor, Love and Thunder?
I did really love Thor Ragnarok. I love that movie. But
I
that's
like
not
that
number
one.
5.
All right, that's 5. Go ahead.
Maybe that's
Herschel,
maybe
go
that
ahead.
the last Spider-Man movie.
No Way Home.
Oh, is that,
Oh yeah, that's got to be a top 5.
Yeah, maybe Spider-Man No Way Home, the last one with the multiverse.
But that's not MCU though.
It's
It's
sort of
close.
is.
It was. It is.
Sort
Doctor Strange was in it, so it's MC.
All right. Angel, what about you? What's your top 5?
Well, Endgame is number one. Both Black Panthers. And then so that's 3. And then I would have to say No Way Home. And then I loved Doctor Strange in the multiverse because it just opened up. I love magic. I'm into like old practices and religions and stuff. So the multiverse really touched home on nostalgia of stuff that I believe in. So my number 5.
All right, Derek, what about you?
Endgame number 1, Infinity War number 2. I would say it's close between Winter Soldier and Black Panther for number 3. Whichever one didn't make number 3 is number 4. And then I'm really close between Iron Man and the first Captain America for number 5. And the reason for that is because if not for those 2 movies, then we wouldn't have had any of the other ones.
Okay, Dilla Soul just made us into overload.
Oh my goodness.
We have now
Another
officially
overload.
Wow.
Wow.
I think this might be the largest super chat we've ever had.
I think it is.
This is the largest. Dilla Soul, you just had the prize for the largest super chat the Black Comic Lords has ever had.
You got to send him a comic, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, definitely broke something on the show here. I got to fix this.
I hope you got a mega super chat video for that, Derek. What you got?
Hold on. Let's see what we got.
Don't stop the stream. That's all I'm asking.
This is the money gun, Derek.
Yeah, that's what's up. Extend BCL another 2 weeks, asking the community support wagon. Thank you. Herschel, what's your top 5, bro?
Meteor Man, Steel. No.
Oh wow!
Stop the shenanigans. Stop.
All right, so here's my thing. I mean, it's kind of typical. I'm gonna go. I gotta go in descending order. Y'all doing number 1 first. Number 5 is probably gonna be Iron Man 2 because I was at the time was a huge War Machine fan.
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever, Infinity Wars, Panther number 2. Then you got to do Daredevil Endgame.
Yeah. That's what's up. All right. Okay, here's my top 5. Number 1, Black Panther.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, Black Panther is my favorite MCU movie. Number 2, Captain America: Civil War.
Everybody likes that one.
Okay.
Number three, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Number 4, Into the Spider-Verse. And number 5, Avengers Endgame.
Thought you were gonna say
if Into the Spider-Verse, I don't know if that's MCU, but if that's in, if that can be put on the list, then that would go in my top 5.
Yeah, that's a game changer if we're including it, the Miles Morales movie.
So
Well,
that's
I'm just saying.
is the Marvels in anybody's top 10?
Yeah.
I'd say it's in my top 10. I'll be fair.
Is who in the top 10?
Is the Marvels in anybody's top 10? Come on,
Yeah.
it's got to be.
As far as notoriety and what it means history-wise, absolutely.
Yeah, if
I
you're
think
on that criteria,
if you factor in the historical part of it, you have to.
You enjoy yourself enough.
I did. I had a good time. I enjoyed the movie.
Yes, I would say it's in my top 10. It bumped one of the other movies to be in the top 10 just because of Monica.
Yeah. I listen. The MCU, even the terrible movies, ain't nothing like going to the theater with a big old tub of popcorn, a gallon of soda water, and some jujubes or some red hots or whatever you like.
that just sounds like diabetes at the movie theater.
It very well might be.
Ant-Man 3 was not good. Sorry, I'm not.
No, it wasn't. I didn't go see it. I have not seen every. Listen, I have not seen every MCU movie in the theater.
Oh yeah,
I passed on Ant-Man.
You saw that in the barbershop. You saw that in the barbershop.
Listen, if the technology was not advanced as it is now in terms of streaming, I probably would have bought a bootleg. Back in the day, that would have been a bootleg purchase for me. Don't judge me. I'm just saying, there's no way a lot of this stuff would get sold back in the day. It would literally, it wouldn't. Do y'all remember the back in the day when you could go to the barbershop, the corner store, and the guy would have the 3 for $10? The MCU would be broke if it was out back in the 90s. It would be broke, bro. It would not be good. Not at all. But anyway,
I just want to hear from the chat. Is there anybody?
Yeah, that's what I want to go to. I want to talk to the chat now. Let's talk to the chat.
Yeah, how about top 3 from the chat? Just
top 3
MCU
there. Movies from the chat.
Go ahead and list them up, chat. What are your top 3 MCU movies?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Disney Plus.
Who is while they're doing that, who is like your dark horse or like number 6 for you? Because number 6 for me would be like Age of Ultron. I really enjoyed the story that they told with Age of Ultron.
Meteor Man. Gotta be Meteor Man.
Can we stop the meteor? God in heaven.
Meteor.
It's a Marvel character. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, shout out to Meteor Man. Chillmonger says Endgame, Infinity War, and Civil War. That's what's up. That's a good list. I mean, I remember how I felt when I saw Infinity War.
I forgot about Civil War, so that would probably be my 6.
Hey, who remembers when Robert pressed that little button, turned the Iron Man, flew down there, and out of nowhere, T'Challa came through the clouds? He was like, what? He was following the whole time? That was a good scene.
I mean, I forget that Civil War was the introduction of T'Challa to the MCU. That scene where he's at the UN, you see him from behind, he turns around. Man, that was a moment for me. I got choked up, honestly. And I saw one of my boys who is also a big Black Panther fan. I remember we both grabbed each other like, that's him. He's there. He's real. We get to see T'Challa on the screen for the first time. And that version, the Russo version of T'Challa, was mysterious, had a bit of an edge to him, had swag.
Yeah.
That was a better version of T'Challa, honestly, than what we got in the Black Panther film. Because
he admit it. He's right.
Playing second fiddle to the rest of this cast.
Let's get with the chat. The chat says, okay, 1 in 100 podcasts, this list is Black Panther, Winter Soldier, and Civil War. Gordon Mahan says Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, and Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Mr. DC Comics, he brings up Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Avengers 1.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a legit
I gotta
film.
respect that list for sure.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was a legit film.
Tron World says Iron Man, Cap 2, Civil War, in that order. Fan for Collecting says Black Panther, Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Dillasoul says Endgame, Black Panther, and No Way Home. But my dark horse choice is Iron Man 2. Yes, ruined Iron Man's Rose Gallery, but it was the quintessential for returning the RDJ's Rhodey's back to Tony. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Blur Forever says the Russos need to come back. I would be here for that. They don't want to pay them. Probably don't want to pay them.
No, they don't.
They like comic books too much, apparently.
So let me ask y'all this. Did you guys all see Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Yes.
Yeah, the best one out of them.
That's why I brought that up. That was my favorite for whatever reason. I just enjoyed that story. Like we talked about it. The fact that they made a raccoon a superstar.
Yeah, they did.
And tells me what they're capable of. Shout out to James Gunn. He did his thing before he walked out the door. You know.
Literally.
And that first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, it proved something, I think, to Marvel. I think it proved that they could venture out further and place bets further out from what people really,
Right. They could take the most obscure characters and turn them into international superstars.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny though? They have not in the Marvel lore, they have really, if you think about it, all of the stuff that they've done, they've literally only scratched the surface. We talk about the horror stuff, right? They have not really. Doctor Strange, they've been kind of playing with it.
Yeah.
Very light.
They've been playing with it. Now, the Multiverse of Madness, I think, is just a potential of what they could do.
Yes.
Because it's so much that they could delve into in that part of that genre. Also, the cosmic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You hadn't really done any cosmic movies or whatever. I guess you're going to do that when Fantastic Four shows up.
Okay.
I don't know. But you hadn't done that. And, the situation with Kang is interesting. Because I don't know if Kang Dynasty is going to be it.
I don't even know if Kang Dynasty is going to be a movie.
I know. They're railroading Jonathan Majors. I hate
We
it.
don't know. Listen, and speaking of Fantastic Four, well, I bet not bring that up because they finna they got some rumors out about Silver Surfer too. A lot of people.
Well.
I'll say it. Stupid.
Go ahead. You ain't the whole disclaimer.
Yeah, run that.
Do we have a disclaimer for Angel? We might need to write one up for Angel.
Hold on. We'll use this one. All right, we are all covered now.
We good. Go ahead. Fine. Go off.
That be coming out my seat.
Now
we'll work on getting you your own disclaimer, Angel.
Now, if she's a black woman, somebody's gonna give her a pass, and I'm not gonna say nothing about it. But I think it needs to be just a guy,
Well, if you're going to introduce Silver Surfer, it should be Norrin Rad.
Right.
You can bring on the other Silver Surfer. You can do that. There's been others, but I'm just saying if you're going to make that introduction, because clearly you're not using the Silver Surfer from the Fantastic Four movies, right?
Look. Can I say something?
Oh, okay.
There's only one.
Wait a minute, hold on, Paul. Angel we just ran the disclaimer for Angel.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Come on, Angel.
So Galactus has a long list of heralds, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Silver Surfer, Norrin Red is not the only one. So if they wanted to
Right.
throw a woman in there because
Frankie, they
on
can do
a
Frankie.
woman kick for whatever reason, that's fine. But don't gender swap Norrin Red. Like that would no. That's where I'm at with it.
You know what? If you know who I would love for them to bring into the MCU as a herald, Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Oh,
That would be hilarious.
You got to introduce Ghost Rider and you got to introduce Punisher. But I guess you don't. At this point, they need whatever. They need to win. So they just introduce them. Screw it.
Or Ghost Panther.
No.
Hey, Paul, there's a question in the chat for you, Paul.
Gotta ask, how you want T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, to end the Secret
All
War?
right. Here we go. Here it is.
How would you want T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, to enter Secret Wars? First of all, I'd like TJ T'Challa Jr. to be revealed to be a Skrull along with Nakia, because that's not canon and they shouldn't exist. Secondly, I would like for them to take the logical standpoint or the logical extension of what happened at the end of Marvels and introduce further the multiverse. There's enough groundwork being laid between Quantumania, what happened just in Loki with the branches and insurgents happening, for them to introduce the concept. There's been a lot of things mucking about with reality in the 616 universe, to the point that at this point, the multiverse is broken, right? And so now there's cracks in the Why do you keep showing Herschel? Now there's cracks in the multiverse. Derek, what are you doing, dude? There's cracks in the multiverse.
Somebody else messing around with that.
And we see the Secret Wars should really be like a myriad of different universes that we're seeing glimpses of, right? And there's a war between these. What they could do is actually run with the storyline that was done in 2015 and say, look, there's these insurgents, and each one of these Avengers, these groups of Avengers, which consist of different rosters from each reality, are all vying to try and prevent their universe from dying. And it might include them trying to blow up the other universes. That was the big debate. So you have an Avengers team consisting of Binary and Blue Marvel and Monica Rambeau from the 616, and you've got another Avengers team with Sam Wilson and Carol Danvers and etc. on another team, and they're all trying to prevent these other universes from destroying their universe, and that's where you have this. That's where you have the Secret Wars. They're all fighting against each other, and then they ultimately realize, hey, we should be working together to try to save all these universes. And at the end of the whole brouhaha, you have one singular Marvel universe that consists of the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and what we have seen in Marvel's 616, all converged into one singular universe at the end. And it's a brand new world with new faces. You introduce new actors. You bring back Iron Man and Captain America with brand new actors that are 20 years younger than the ones that are there. And it's because it's a brand new universe, people don't question it. They don't care if there's the same actor playing Carol Danvers, but there's a new actor playing Iron Man, because you have a brand new universe. And at the midst of it, at the end, is a scene where you see Miles Morales sitting on the top of a building with Peter Parker having a hamburger. But yes, T'Challa would be introduced that way as the new Black Panther with the new actor.
Will Blade get made at this point? Well, it's like I told somebody recently. We will have a new president. Matter of fact, might have two different presidents before that gets made. The situation with Blade is a mess, and I don't understand why. He kills vampires. Just write a good story, okay? But for whatever reason, they have messed that up. Hopefully, they'll get it right. at some point we will see Blade again, but I have stopped looking for it. You know, I just don't even look at somebody will put up in a news article or whatever, you know, Mashallah Azli, he will say something or somebody will start a rumor. I don't even pay that no mind no more because this movie should have been made and we should be going to the theaters to see it next year. But clearly it will not be out until, I guess, 2025 is what they last said. So, yeah. So all you got to do, bro, is stay alive to 2025 and you might get to see a Blade movie. But I recommend that you go back and watch the first 2 Blade movies. Go and watch the Blade anime until then.
And read the Brian Edward Hill run going on right now. That book is fire.
Absolutely.
I sub to that.
Hercules says, picture this John Wick, but with vampires.
Who has already pitched that already? That's perfect.
Yeah. Man, I love John Wick.
I agree with Dre. Put that comment up, Derek. The Blade script's already been written. It's the current comic run. They can literally just adapt the current comic run by Brian Edward Hill and make that into a movie. It's so
they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that.
That would be nice if they did, though.
That would be cool. That would be cool. But we know how this goes, guys. That's not what they're gonna do. It's too much like right. It's too much like right. You know? Blade started the MCU. Yes, we 100% agree with that. Shout out to Wesley Snipes. But they have no, I don't know who's the actual editors or the suits at Marvel. They're making all of these decisions.
I think it's
but I'm willing to bet that now one of them are comic heads. They probably went to school in the Midwest somewhere. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't like what's going on with the MCU, which is why somebody said earlier about recalibrating it. Now they just need to blow it up, start over. You know, they're going to probably do that after Secret Wars, but Secret Wars is not due to come out until 2027, which means you will have a new president and possibly another president, 2 presidents before that gets out. So keep buying these books till then. Whatever that is. So what else you guys talking about in the chat, man? I don't want this to just be an MCU show. We got to talk. Well, let me just bring this up. Okay. Did you guys read John Stewart this week?
Yes. No, I didn't. I haven't. I haven't read it.
I hadn't read it either. So did you like it, bro?
I did. I mean, Philip Kennedy Johnson's doing a good job with John Stewart. I wish there was a little bit more development based on what happened in the prior issue in terms of moving the story along.
Right.
That didn't happen. But, the artwork is phenomenal. And I like the fact that they're doing new things with John Stewart. I'll say it like that.
Speaking of DC,
it didn't move the needle very far in this issue.
Speaking of DC, I have a question to ask y'all. The things at Milestone are so bad that I didn't even know that Icon, that Hardware versus Icon #5 came out. And when I went to the shop, normally the guy has a little tag to say new books. There wasn't even a tag on the thing that says new book. So I'm like, really? This what we doing? And if I had not just stopped and looked at the wall, if I just went in there and got my pulls or whatever, then that'd be one thing. But I went to the wall first. So I'm like, I didn't even know this was coming out this week.
That one.
Blow Paul up. There you go.
That one.
Yeah. Shout out to all you hardcore Milestone fans. Because y'all
put a thumbs up in the chat if you actually bought the book. I want to see how many of you guys bought the book, man.
Behind the scenes, is Milestone still releasing books?
Yes.
I apparently got 2 of these for some reason. I don't know why.
I didn't know about that one, so I have to go look for it now.
Yeah, yeah. You know what, Angel, unless you're ready to pay some real cash money for that, I get the A cover, keep pushing. Because Paul,
On the show.
that's a 1 in 25, right, Paul?
You want to flex
I don't know, man. I
the John
just bought
Stewart
that. I just
homage?
said, give me the milestone books. I didn't really pay
$25.
attention to that.
Nothing. What are we talking
This
about?
this one's the fire one though. I absolutely love this one. This one should be
Yeah,
a
that
t-shirt.
one's
Yeah, that's a Superman
Yep.
homage.
homage.
Yeah, done by Meech Doodle. This is this
Really?
needs to be a t-shirt. This is dope. I love this one.
Hey, Paul.
So we got 3 thumbs up in the chat.
Paul, how can I
4
find
now.
out? How can I? So let's say I missed this book. Where can I go so I can find out what the pulls of the week are?
You can check out our League of Comic Book Geek account, which we periodically put up. I know I'm probably saying it wrong. It's League of Comic Geek, I think it is. And I will post it in the chat for you all to see.
Yeah, please do.
We have a Black Comic Lords account, and every week we try to periodically update it. So you look, if you're wondering what's coming out this week or what's coming up in the next several weeks, just check the list. It's literally that simple.
Behind the scenes says, I don't want to hear anything about Milestone until they give us a new Static Shock cartoon or movie. But beyond, again, you in that same boat with the Blade people.
And they're in the same boat with everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. The Blurred Forever says, still read McDuffie's Icon of Velez's Blood Syndicate every other year. Yeah, man. Some dope books, bro, for real. Shout out to the original Milestone. They people still trying to catch up to that. That's amazing when I think about it. And all the technology, all the skilled artists and writers, people still trying to catch up to Dwayne McDuffie. Dwayne McDuffie's been in the grave 20 over 20 years. So,
Paul,
yeah.
So Paul, this poll list you put up, you don't just put Marvel and DC stuff on it, do you?
No, it's everything. In fact, I can even share my screen real quick and show you.
Oh, so that the question we get all the time, right? Why don't you focus more on indies?
No, we don't just focus. We have indies on there too. So if you look at the screen here, you see you've got some DC stuff. You've got Concrete Comics #2 coming out this week. Some more DC and Marvel stuff. We've got Empath by Black Box by our boy Brian Hawkins. Image Comics. We've got Luke Cage, which we were just discussing, all these Luke Cage covers. We've got some Miles Morales coming out. We've got Static. You're talking about Milestone, right? Static's coming out. Last issue, Static Shadows of Dakota #7 is coming out. And I'll mention one thing special. Nicholas Draper Ivey, who's the artist on this and co-writer, indicated that this look that you see on the cover is going to be Static's newest, his official look from this point going forward. So this is the first appearance of Static's new look for the foreseeable future. And Sirens of the City #5 comes out. That's by Boom Studios, an indie book. Very good book. I've thoroughly enjoyed that series. And you've got Rich's boy Steel. He has his I think this might be the final issue of this series. Steel #6 coming out. So check out League of Comic Geeks and just simply put in the search for the Black Comic Lords pull list, and it pulls it right up. And here's the link on the screen that you have there.
You even got Acolyte on there too.
Yeah.
I mean, we independents are great, you know what I'm saying? But if you are somebody that's been around a while, Marvel and DC is kind of like, it's like Spalding. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some other dope balls out here or whatever, but you're gonna go with the tried and true. And so while we salute the independents, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna still talk about Marvel and DC because that's, for a lot of us, that's just what we've been exposed to, and that's all that we really know.
Well, they're also the most consistency wise. They're the two titles or two companies that put out the most books on a consistent basis. So
they need to do better in the writing aspect of their storytelling.
That's not even the question.
It's hard to keep.
Like independence?
No, I'm talking about the Marvel and DC. Their writers. I mean, they got some good writers on some of these books, but a lot of these writers, man, look, books are just not that good. And again, I know y'all got this thing with Johnny Law, but man, that Ministry of Compliance, that's a dope book. You should go get that.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, yes. Hey, you hear that, Shell? Y'all keep asking Paul every week when he's on with his boy Mark, ask him if he's gonna read that book. Because I'm telling you, that's a good book, Paul.
I'll be
Don't
happy
sleep.
to answer that question for you. The answer is no.
No.
He said behind the scenes, he says, who wants to bet Mr. Terrific is the first to die in the new Superman movie?
Hey, it's the same guy that died.
It'd be consistent for that actor.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a question for the chat.
Didn't he die in the Twilight movie too?
So question for the chat. There have been several properties that have been optioned. I can think of Bitterroot, Philadelphia. I'm drawing a blank on others. You can snap your finger right now, so that then tomorrow there'd be an immediate announcement that there is a movie that is imminent. What optioned property would you pick that you can snap your fingers on right now?
Gotta say kill.
Black Panther #2.
What?
I want a Black Panther #2 movie.
You already had that.
No,
Derek, if you wanna sell some tickets and step outside of this quote unquote fatigue, Philadelphia would be your home run hitter.
Yeah, it's different.
You can't argue. I mean, guess what? And also, too, man, a lot of these guys.
So not Bitterroot.
Bitterroot, I think, would just kind of. I think this would really open. I don't want to say. I'm going to use this word, open up the door. Even though I just said that. But I think it would prop up a lot of other things up. I think Bitterroot could stand on its own. I would rather see Bitterroot in a series versus a one movie. I want to see that in like.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be a series.
I think Bitterroot would be better as a series.
Bitterroot's going to be a series.
Man, they got options 3 years ago. We haven't heard nothing. A lot of these guys get those books pulled off the table, and somebody will buy up the rights, and then all of a sudden they just sit on them.
Well, what happened? To be fair, with Bitterroot, they attached Regina King to it, and Regina King's son passed away.
And that dropped.
And that kind of put everything on hold as far as them going forward. You know what I'm saying? So
in fact,
when you got somebody like Regina King, when you got somebody like Regina King attached to your property, you wait until she's ready to go. So yeah, so that's how I see that.
I kind of view Bitterroot like a Lovecraft to a certain extent.
Jay says, "What happened?" Hold on a second. Jay says, "What happened to the antagonist? It's not at LCS anymore." Well, Jay, let me get on my soapbox.
Oh no!
Let me get on my soapbox. The antagonist, if it's not at your LCS, it's because nobody bought it. Pre-order. These white folks, let me talk real plain. These white folks are not going to keep putting stuff on the shelf if they can't sell it.
Say it one more time, bro.
These white folks are not going to put nothing on the shelf if they can't sell it. If you know that there's a book in your LCS, like the antagonist when it came out, people bought the first issue or whatever, put it on the shelf to see what it was going to do. And if nobody says, I'll pick this up or whatever, and say, you know what? I'm going to read this. I'm going to go back. If I liked it, go back and, hey, put this on my pre-order list. These companies these comic book shops have no incentive to buy this product if there's no interest, because they're not going to eat because you want a comic book on the shelf. They're not going to eat that cost. You can't ask me if I'm a shop owner. Let me get real black for y'all.
Uh-oh.
If I'm a shop owner,
where's the disclaimer, Derek?
Hey, we already ran. We're covered.
If I'm a shop owner,
disclaimer.
if I'm a shop owner, if I'm a shop owner, right, and I put a bunch of black themed titles on my shelf, and I have black clientele, and I tell my clientele, hey man, I got this on the shelf. It just came in, this, and they don't communicate to me that they want it, and they come back next month, man. Wait, I mean, did issue 2 come out? Like, yeah. Well, why you didn't get it? Because didn't nobody buy issue 1. We gotta think smarter when it comes as the black comic book community. We have to think smart. That's why Black Comic Laws, we always emphasize the importance of pre-order, because these dudes, they do not have no incentive to put that book on the shelf. Listen, you may be the only person at your LCS that likes the antagonist, but if you don't say to them, hey, put this in my pull box, they're not going to order it. You gotta tell them.
You gotta commit in advance.
Well,
in advance.
You gotta commit.
I'll add, because I teach about collecting. Even if you're just finding out of a book, as long as it's available to order, just go to your local comic shop and ask them to order it for you. Go put yourself on their order list, their sub list, and I order from 3 different shops, and it never fails that one of them will always come to me, oh, I didn't know about this book, and because I ordered it, then they order extras or order more or advertise it. So we also have to be that guide. If we're not buying our own stuff, we can't expect it to show up or them to promote it. We have to be that partnership and advocate for our own community, for our own stuff we want to read. So it doesn't have to be pre-order. It's as soon as you're aware of it, go to your local comic shop and say, hey, can you order this for me?
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting because, again, too, there's so much content out here that, you know what I'm saying, there's literally, you can go to a shop literally at this point in this day and age and buy all black themed comic books. There's that many properties, independent titles that you can go get. Now, the key there is independent titles. Somebody, let's see, Behind the Scene talks about O Kingdom Come, the next African Game of Thrones. That's a very good book. There's another one called Zufan. That is a African epic, and it's about aliens coming to Earth and dividing the land like colonizers, and on a galactic scale. And but you gotta make the investment, like Derek said, you gotta commit, and that's what keeps these books in the shop. Because again, Jay, I would tell you, man, go to your LCS and say, hey, I really want the antagonist. Just order me a copy. They will order the copy. When they're motivated to do that, that's what they will do. But for them to just like put title after title after title, and they don't see nobody interested in it, no one's talking about it or whatever. And even today, they barely talk comic books in comic book shops, because half the shop is now game area. You got more people there talking about Dungeons and Dragons and all this other stuff and manga than they are talking about comics. I remember I'm dating myself, but do you guys remember the day when you could go into a comic shop and be in that comic shop for a couple of hours just talking comics? You ain't bought nothing. You're just in there talking with people about comics. When's the last time any of us have done that?
We just got another donation.
All right.
That was Cricket. So
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Blur Forever asked a question. He says,
2 weeks now.
You guys enjoyed the Black Lightning K shows. I will say this. I enjoyed Black Lightning season 1. I enjoyed Black Lightning season 2. Season 3, season 4, not at all.
Yeah,
Cage,
season 4 was hard
season
to watch.
Season 1, season 2. That's Paul's favorite season. That's with the Jamaican, the fake Jamaicans.
The Jafakins? No. Yeah,
The Jamaicans. The Mariah Stokes. That's her name. But I love Black Mariah though. I definitely enjoyed those shows. I wish we had them. Tobias Well, in my opinion, best black villain we've seen. I like Killmonger, but Tobias Well was a character. You know, Killmonger was actually I take it back. Tobias Well is a caricature. Killmonger is a character. Tobias Well was almost like a light-skinned or a albino Uncle Ruckus, and he was just hilarious in that show. So, what about you guys? Did you guys enjoy the Black Lightning and Cage shows?
I thought Luke Cage was good. I thought they tried to modernize him, pull him away from this. You know, I kind of always looked at Luke Cage like a Mr. T-ish type character. I mean, in my mind, so they kind of cleaned him up a little bit to a certain extent. I did enjoy Bushmaster. I didn't know much about the character. He whooped Luke Cage's ass every time they matched up, and I couldn't figure out why. So I did my research and figured out that Bushmaster's that dude. The only thing with that though is that they did introduce what's her name? The girl had the potion.
Nightshade.
Nightshade, and then we didn't get to that, but she was introduced. I thought that was cool. Mariah Stokes, with her being the first black superheroine in Marvel Comics, nobody cared about it, but I appreciate Marvel.
Super villain.
Sorry, thank you, Paul. Super villain in Marvel Comics. That was dope. I saw the first episode of the Black Lightning, probably the first 10 minutes, and I couldn't watch it anymore. I thought it was corny. And people thought Meteor Man was corny, but this with the outfit, I couldn't.
Bro, it was WB. I mean, you have to consider the source, my brother.
Regular old TV.
That part. Yeah. I mean, I think it was dope for what it was. Listen, as a Black Lightning fan, I was just happy to see my guy get some time. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't, I make you guys, Hershey, you were talking with in the chat about how people superimpose themselves or interject themselves into these characters, right? And Jefferson Pierce is one of the few characters in comics I feel like are too relatable. He's an athlete, he's a principal, he's a teacher. He's in the hood. Everybody can't be rich like T'Challa, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I see more Jefferson Pierces in my community than I will ever see a T'Challa. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, I don't have a problem with T'Challa. I love T'Challa, but my heart goes more toward Black Lightning and those kind of characters that we can relate to. I don't have to superimpose anything because they'll tell you everything that T'Challa is supposed to be. He's supposed to be this. He's supposed to be that. He's supposed to be. But no one's ever going to say that about Jefferson Pierce, because Jefferson Pierce is in and of himself is a totality of a human being, living experience in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Going where Superman won't go, and fighting a good fight. You know what I'm saying? So, again, shout out to T'Challa, but I'm gonna hold it down for Jefferson Pierce until they put him in another book. DC. I'm just saying.
All right, here's some other comments. So Bison for Life said Black would make a great Gen V type series. I know some of you on the screen with us probably haven't watched Gen V yet, but that was a good series. The writing and the casting was great. So, chat, just let me know if you saw Gen V yet and what you thought about it.
Y'all said that about Gen V? Y'all said that was a great series?
I love that series.
I love Gen V.
They don't get out much.
I think I might have liked it even more than the boys.
That was like watching an action movie with porn, bro. But y'all like
Herschel, how many episodes did you watch, Herschel?
I watched the first 3. And I was like, yo, what are we doing?
Everything. That's what everything.
Sad state of affairs. I mean, look, Black. Now to go to this question about Black or a statement about Black, I didn't really like Black. I felt like Black was. I felt like Black was too predictable. If that makes any sense as a series, it's like, oh, okay, Black people are mutants and they got powers, and this is how. And the funny thing is that you think about a concept like that, right? Let's say, for hypothetical purposes, that Black folk get superpowers, all right? But how is it that even in the idea of that we would not be able to overcome the biggest kryptonite of being Black, which is our unity, our ability to unify? We would all just do our own thing and then wouldn't even think twice. You know what I'm saying? So this story tries to kind of introduce that thought to it, which, in my opinion, can we shout out to Herschel? You'll love this, Herschel. We Black is really only a copy. Well, not a copycat, but when I think about Black or whatever, I think about Undercover Bro, taking it to the man, that kind of. Shout out to Eddie Griffin. But it really was, to me, it was too predictable. It was not a good series. White was better, in my opinion, as a series than Black. I didn't like Black AF. Cal Exit was, but overall, it was okay. But White was the better of all the stuff that they offered. In my humble opinion. So, yeah.
Behind the scene, give a thumbs up for Zufan.
Yeah.
And no Mr. Doubt. DC calling out Isom as movie potential. And then Pericles with a question. Who would you cast as Black Lightning in the Gun DCU?
Ooh.
Hey, can we go ahead and say the guy's name that Rich cast as everything else?
Nah. I wouldn't. I wouldn't go there. I like Black Lightning.
I'm waiting for somebody to say Michael J. White in the chat so I can just log off. Somebody right now slamming their computer saying, "Damn, he beat me to
it." That's
there you go.
That's actually not a. I hadn't even thought about that. Because I just don't expect them to do that. That's why I've never thought about it. That's a good question. I'm going to have to think about it. You may have to come back to that. I'm going to have to think about that.
That's not going to happen anytime soon.
Dilla Soul says Gen V was underrated. Not the biggest fan of the phallic close-ups. Besides that, the characters were all likable. Plot had good twists, even for those who knew the synopsis from the comics. Yeah. I want to shout out to him, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Jazz Sinclair. Jazz Sinclair, who played the main character in Gen V. She's good. I mean, it's not, some you can tell. Yeah. You don't know what you're looking at sometimes, but when people are able to act with their face,
yes,
and the way they use their voice, they're in it, right? And that's the way she's playing that role. So,
yeah. It's weird though, man. The Boys. I think what the reason why I didn't watch it is because I got kind of turned off with The Boys. It's like, I understand what you're trying to do, but in doing that or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, I want my superheroes to be super. I don't want them to be, perverts and throw it off. I really want them to be good. You know what I'm saying? The guy that's behind it, who's it, Garth Ennis or whoever it is, he clearly hates superheroes, which is why he writes them the way he does. But I don't understand that. But it is what it is.
I don't agree with that. I think with The Boys and Gen V, it is the reality of what humanity mutated or with superpowers would be. The natural course of things is, if you're coming through puberty and you've got a superpower, you're going to kill people. like regular humans against actual superpowers.
Right.
It's not a bed of roses and bubblegum and lollipops and unicorns. It's gonna be death and destruction until you get a handle on your craft. That's what I love the most about The Boys in Gen V. And Gen V actually shows from the children into puberty, and just the gore and violence of it is really, really next to reality. If it was real, if it was something we would live through, that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That's the thing, Angel. Like I'm like Paul now. I keep jumping from side to side. I'm on Paul's side with this. I just want my superheroes to be super. I just want them to be super. I want them to be good.
I agree. Actually, I agree with Angel on this one. I like the fact. That's what I like about The Boys and Gen V is the fact that if superheroes really exist, yeah, they would be drug-addled. You know, they would do whatever they want. They would have it all marketed through Disney or Amazon. They would have literal.
Right. I mean, but that's the reality of humanity, the need to control of things that are powerful. So you have these corporations that have the facade in the society that, these are good and this is heroes and they're protecting the world, but actually they're for profit. They're prisoners. They're actual prisoners in the course of society, right? Because the majority is controlling them. And the only person that really no one can control is, I can't stand him, with what's his name? The blonde one that's the
Homelander.
Homelander.
He's a good actor.
That actor does so good. I literally loathe Homelander. Like, he's the epitome of every bad other person I've ever met.
And see, when they in the first season, when they were on that airplane and he told old girl, "You coming? Because this plane about to go down. We can't save the plane."
Right.
And I was just that was just horrifying. But when I first saw The Boys, the first the first death in the movie or in the series, what's the speed guy's name?
I forgot his name.
But I mean, I'm watching these two people have this conversation, right? They just kind of on the sidewalk talking or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see this
A-Train.
All of a sudden you see this
A-Train,
and she's gone.
Destroyed. Okay.
I'm like, what just happened? That's trauma.
My boy was like, my bad.
That's trauma. I'm not a fan of that stuff because it's trauma. The fact that we're sitting here talking about it is trauma bonding. Can we talk about something else? Let's move on.
All right. Now there's another some other interesting comments here. How about this? All the main characters in the new DCU will be kind of young, and also DC should focus on the writers only and cast unknown characters.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I think that the writing is the thing. You don't necessarily have to have a big name or whatever. When the MCU first secured Robert Downey Jr., Robert Downey Jr. was on the comeback. He had for years been, kind of not, I won't say blacklisted, but he had a drug problem. He was, in and out of rehab and that kind of thing. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of saved his life in some, or definitely saved his career. But he wasn't really looked at as a big name, even though he had been in movies, in big movies like Less Than Zero of other things. You don't necessarily need new, big names. It's just like Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury. I think they could have got somebody else to do Nick Fury. Because he hasn't had to do has Samuel L. Jackson had to do any real acting in the MCU other than Secret Invasion?
Oh, no, because he embodies everybody's dad, everybody's badass. Like he's just great to watch on screen.
Samuel L. Jackson plays Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, you look at this.
Let's see.
Dion.
Boys and Invincible has the best storytelling in the superhero genre right now.
They bring the realism. That's what it is.
Mhm.
We haven't had that before. Not on a big scale like it is now. Because even with Invincible, that's another one that I didn't catch on to it to maybe a couple of years ago, and I felt like somebody was hiding a whole universe from me. I was so insulted. You mean this has been out all this time? Like
Invincible is so good. Oh my god, that show's
I
good.
love it.
Have you ever taken inventory of some of the black voice actors in Invincible? It's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I was watching, a whole lot. I need to pull together the list right now, I guess.
You know, I mean, they have a, you know, Amazon's got it kind of going on right now with Invincible, you know, and with the boys stuff or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Can't hate it, you know, for sure. As far as the, you know, the writing goes, whatever, you know, I mean, DC's DC animation, quiet as kept. They've had they've had a run of good stuff. They've had some hiccups, but they're getting ready to do the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it's going to be three movies. They're going to take the Crisis on Infinite Earths and make it 3 movies. I'm looking forward to that. And you talk about superheroes being real. What's the last superhero movie DC did that was real dark?
Blue Beetle?
Oh, real
No,
dark. I don't know.
That was real dark. God, what's the name?
Well,
of
why
it?
he
Batman?
thinks
The
about, why he
Batman?
thinks
Let's
about it?
do
Frustrated.
super chat.
No. Not the
Let's do the super
Batman.
chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Frustrated. What's up? What up?
Thanks,
Thank you,
frustrated.
sir.
Join us late,
appreciate you.
but still dropping the super chat.
I think we're officially on for 2 more weeks, y'all.
I think so. I think
So, Mr. DC Comics says Superman is not flawless. I'm not sure where that comes from, but I was saying about
here you go.
there's
Sounds like you don't know too much about Superman.
No, there's the last DC movie series of movies that they did. God dog it. Let me see if I can put it up. Because
know a lot
it
about
was pretty good. It was one of the darker shows.
yeah. Oh, darker show.
No, it's not Superman. It's actually it's a DC movie. It's might be Justice League. As a matter of fact, I think it is. God dog it, what is it? Trying to bring it up.
Are you talking about the one with Dark Side?
No. That's Justice League Dark, not Justice League Dark.
Or
it's not Apocalypse
War.
War.
It's not a horror. It's where God dog it. Superman kind of goes dark in the movie though.
That's the cartoon.
Lois dies.
Was it the cartoon when Lois dies?
Yes. What is that?
Infinite Crisis?
No. It's not Infinite Crisis.
It's not
God dog it. I can't believe can't remember the name of it. Y'all help us out in the chat. No, not Long Halloween.
Injustice.
That's it. That's the one. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good show.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good show.
Trick into killing Lois. Yep.
Yeah, he goes dark for real. I like for me, I like that kind of not necessarily reality, but I like that kind of descent, if that makes any sense. He's here and then he drops down here because something, bad happens in his life. I think we can relate to that. But to be just a scumbag and I'm a superhero, whatever. I mean, y'all remember the movie Hancock?
Yes.
Will Smith, he basically plays a drunk superhero. And while that is cool to see or whatever, but me personally, as someone who has read comic books or whatever, I would just like my superheroes, like I said, to be super. He says, "Have you read Injustice OG? Volume 1's great." Yeah, I mean that's what, bro. It's pretty good. Now the Justice League Apocalypse War, that was a pretty good thing that DC did. I love Batman's The Long Halloween. I tell people that, people ask me, what's the best Batman story? I always go to that. But my favorite, and I've said this recently, my recent favorite, what I came across was Chuck Dixon's The Devil's Advocate. Bro, y'all should read that. If you read it digitally or whatever, if you can. But Chuck Dixon's the Devil's Advocate. It's a Joker story. Batman's in it, of course, but that's an amazing.
I've never heard of that one.
Amazing. It's an amazing story. Man, the graphic novel goes for like $40 or $50. I've been trying to find it, but I can't find it for under $50. It's been as much as $200. It's not something that just sits on the shelf. You have to find it in the wild. But yeah.
Hey, I have a question for everybody. Has anybody had a chance to read Little Rock Files yet? That came out this week.
I have
No, not yet.
I have not seen it in a comic shop yet.
Me neither. I didn't know about it.
I pre-ordered it, but I haven't received it yet.
Okay. Yeah, I went to 2 LCSs and they didn't have it. So just curious. Chat, anybody see or read Little Rock Files yet? I'm just interested.
I have that. I have the graphic.
The covers are by your boy Marcus Williams, Richard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I have the book that precedes that. Noir is the new black. I think that's the name of it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like multiple stories and it's an anthology rather. But I have that, but I have not seen. And I went to the shop looking for that. And that's the other thing too, guys. Something like that, as dope as it is, can come out, and if you don't pre-order it online, or if you go to the shop and you ask them about it, they may not even know how to get it. That's the other problem that shops have, because usually they go to a certain distributor or whatever, and they get these books from certain ways, but the game is so wide open now, whatever. It's not guaranteed that they're going to put it because it's new in the shop. It could be in previews or whatever, but that ain't necessarily mean that your shop is going to carry it. Now, Mr. Comics says the best Batman animated movies: Batman Under the Red Hood, The Dark Knight Returns, and Mask of the Phantasm. My favorite Batman movie? I like them all.
Was nice.
I like them all. I like them all personally, but The Long Halloween stands out. The Mask of the Phantasm is interesting because that's an early one. You can get that on VHS tape. That's how old that is. so yeah. You can get that. You can get that on VHS tape. Mystery of the Batwoman. I like that. Gotham by Gaslight was really good. Yes.
By far, best scenes though was in Injustice when Batman was fighting Owlman, and Owlman, I mean, the dude was freaking amazing in that movie. But at the end, Batman was able to get that little transporter. He said you blink, and then Owlman ends up saying it doesn't matter, and his plan gets foiled. But that was a really, really good movie as well.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I enjoyed that. That's what what they call it, the
Injustice game.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Was it Injustice?
It was Injustice. It wasn't Gods Among Us. It was Injustice League or something like that. Yeah.
It was a Justice League movie, but that was the one that they had the bad Superman, Ultraman, and
yeah.
yeah. I know you want to talk about it. That's all the DC stuff is incredible. I just wish DC would stay away from trying to do the DC action movies and just do animation. Just do animation. After Black Adam, my feelings have been hurt. From The Rock lying about how much the movie was doing.
You said your feelings hurt. Okay.
My feelings were hurt. I wanted, Angel, I wanted Black Adam to be successful. And it was funny too, because Hershey put that trolling post up of Black Adam, doing his thing, and then Black Panther Wakanda Forever coming and wrecking the train.
Yeah, the train comes through. Because they dumb for releasing it so close to Wakanda Forever. Like, as soon as Wakanda Forever, all them dollars just went away. Whatever fake dollars they was going to make, that went away. But you know what, though? I think Black Adam was the last. Was it the last successful? Well, okay, it's not successful because how much money it made. But it was the most highest grossing movie they've had.
Well, the Rock's fans came out. It wasn't because of the character, because he's so far away from the character. Like, everybody's speaking in the accent of the country except him. It was just weird. And then he went in bald. He could have had hair or grafted or like, well, why are you trying to change this character in your image? And then as soon as he got dropped from the WB, everything, comic books, the toys, everything went back to the original Black Adam, the way he's supposed to look. So, I mean,
yeah, it was
on with
it
that.
was dead on arrival. It was dead on arrival. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yes.
But you bring up
Superman made $393 million.
Yep.
Now I'm pretty sure that's more than Shazam Fury of the Gods. I think
of course. Nobody listen. The Shazam movies, ain't nobody asked for those.
No.
Nobody asked for those. It's like, what y'all doing? Nobody. Don't get me wrong. When Superman appears at the end of the Black Adam movie, I was like, oh, it's about to go down. And then a couple weeks later, he won't be the Superman going forward. I was like, wow.
And Blue Beetle even made even less than that. So Shazam made like 139 million, and Blue Beetle only made 129 million.
Well, Black Adam cost 260 to make because of the reshoots. So they didn't make any money. They made it barely over what it cost to make the movie.
Yeah, they broke even.
So, I don't know.
So, yeah, no doubt. So Angel tonight, y'all. Angel has a book up that she wants to talk about in a giveaway on her Instagram. Angel, why don't you go ahead and tell the good people out here what you got going on, book you want to give away.
So for those that have been watching the show so far, we were talking about Monica Rambeau, and I often, at least 3 or 4 times a year, give away a comic book on my Instagram. So if you go to A4Amazing, like and follow, it'll post either later today or tomorrow of how you can win Photon issue 1, and it'll be this actual comic book that I have right here out of my collection that I'll
Brian
give away.
Steelfree's cover.
Yep.
Yes, and in about 30 days it'll be given away. So make sure to add me, make sure to shout out Black Comic Lords, and you could win this comic book.
That's what's up. So John Stiles says, still reading pre-Superman Lost? Yes, I am. It's got 2 more issues left. And it's been a pretty interesting story. Man, Lex Luthor is the devil. He might be the good guy in some places, but he's the devil in Superman Lost. So shout out to Christopher Priest writing that. It's a pretty good run, man. Speaking of, he wrote the Black Adam run, leading up to the movie. He wrote that run, but I dropped off of that pretty early. It just didn't pull me in. Even though they brought in a new superhero, they called him White Adam. They were trolling everybody with that. Then they settled on, what is it, Bolt? His name is Bolt.
Bolt was his name.
So yeah, y'all do with that what y'all will, Bolt probably will never appear again in another show. But yeah. Before we get out of here, man, he says, Paul, when is that Superman Lost joint coming out in a trade? That's what he wants. That's what Amir wants to know.
I have no idea.
Might be a minute. Like I said, it's got 2 more issues. Got 2 more issues to come out. So you're literally talking about, it'll be next year. It'll be sometime maybe spring. before that probably comes out in the trade. So yeah. So guys, before we get out of here, man, what's the next thing on Marvel's to-do list? Because as far as the MCU goes, because we just finished Loki. I didn't watch it. They were talking in the chat earlier about who still has Disney Plus. I am one of those people who dropped Disney Plus, and I have no intent, no motivation to pick it back up. Now, if something dope comes out on it, I will. But Loki was not compelling enough for me to just keep it going and giving Disney my money for one show. I'll eventually get to it, when they make it available on Hulu or something. I'll check it out then. But what are they doing next? What's next?
Well, they got She-Hulk season 2 that just looks like it might be coming back.
That's a doggone shame. By the way, can somebody tell me?
I like She-Hulk.
Deadpool versus Wolverine. Ironheart. That's what everybody wants. Chillmonger, I'm with you. Where is Ironheart?
Iron who?
Yeah, exactly.
Where they put her?
You might as well call her Iron Wakanda because most of her stuff is from Wakanda. All of her stuff is from Wakanda.
Tragic, boy, I tell you.
Ironheart's in the same place as the Okoye series and the Wakanda series that Ryan Coogler got paid money to go do.
Oh.
Echo. He said Echo. Yeah, Echo's coming up.
How do y'all feel about it?
Comics.
Shout out to all of you action figure guys, you know what I'm saying, about the What If series, about the only thing worth redeemable of that series in terms of y'all gonna finally get a Black Goliath on screen, I guess. For what that's worth. Shout out to Bill Foster.
Y'all make sure y'all pick up that action figure too, man. I had a cop one. This is a spoiler alert, by the way. But yeah.
Spoiler alert.
So we keep saying What If season 2 in December?
Yeah.
Yep.
December 21st.
That What If season 2 looks really good.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Speaking of DC movies, did you see the trailer for that is it Final Crisis?
Final Crisis.
Well, no, they getting ready to do. They probably did a trailer for the movie. They doing Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's going to be 3 movies.
Right. So, in the trailer, did you notice that Amazing Man was in there?
Yes.
That'll be Amazing Man's first.
Well, I didn't notice that. I gotta watch that.
Televised.
I mean, he's literally He's literally on there like 2 seconds.
And that's gonna probably be all of
That's gonna be the screen time.
2 seconds.
Regarding television.
Yeah.
So I did see that. Yeah, but yeah, he's in the movie. He's in there.
There's one book I would like to mention, Rich, if you would.
What's that?
Only because of this this release. Let me share it here from our League of Comic Book Geek site. This Titans Beast World coming out next week.
Okay. And Waller Rising.
It supposedly has a bunch of black superheroes in DC Comics in it. I mean, just going down through the roster, Amanda Waller, Batwing, Black Manta, Nubia. I don't know why Red Tornado.
You gotta stick a white guy in there. Come on. Well, or alien robot. Yeah, he's not white.
Superman, Vixen. We also know from the covers here that this new character, Deadshot, I think his name. What's his name? Deadshot?
Deadshot's not a new character.
This is Amanda Waller's nephew.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not Deadshot. I forget his name. It's Deadeye. Thank you, Deadeye. Deadeye, who's this new character, who's Amanda Waller's nephew. And he's superpowered. And he's black. And he was created by Chuck Brown and I forget who the artist was.
And Black Manta is going to be okay as long as he don't run into Aquaman, and then he gonna go crazy and try to, he gonna ruin everything. So just keep Aquaman away from him. He'll be fine.
This covers a dope one right here.
When is that coming out? When is that coming out?
This comes out next week. Next Tuesday.
Super legacy character. They should call that super legacy characters. Wow.
Well, Vixen's not a legacy character. Deadeye's not a legacy character.
Right. You got you got 4
Black
characters,
Manta's not a legacy character.
right? And Nubia's not either. But at the same time, you got Superman up front because they feel like that crest is going to sell some books. I would have liked to see Black Manta up front. A little controversial, even Vixen. But they know that S going to sell some books. So
yeah, Vixen's been a team leader. She should be at the
Chuck
front.
Brown is a great writer. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Karen Grant's doing the art. Cover artist Clayton Henry.
somebody said Deadeye is a great value Deadshot.
No. Deadeye's got superpowers though.
Wow.
Deadshot's mad skilled, but Deadeye actually has superpowers.
Wow.
But anyway, I just wanted to share that that's coming out for those who might be interested.
Yeah, well, there's some good stuff coming out, y'all. Y'all go grab that. Tomorrow is a new day, new work week. Got to get back to it. Lord, Paul got to go handle some more cases, and I don't know what Herschel doing.
I work for DC, and I'm putting cases on all you.
We all gonna be busy, but either way. Coming up, guys, remember Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, Tim Fielder talking about a few things. Maddie's Rocket, graphic history of hip hop, and Infinitum. Particularly, that'll probably be the lion's share of the conversation. But that's gonna be a dope conversation, and they're looking forward to that for sure. So stay tuned for that. We also have a lot of other stuff on our website. Of course, about Wakanda Whiskey and Burnham. You're here tonight with Real Talk with Rich, so look forward to that. Now, Ladies Live is going under some corporate restructuring, but we have one of the ladies here tonight, so hopefully that'll get back up and running fairly soon. And again, we talk about independent creators. Kevin Greavy is one such guy. Dr. John Jennings and Lonzo Starr, Concrete. So check out our YouTube channel, guys. Check out our YouTube. We got a lot of content there. And while you're looking at that, you need to find some cool books, or you need to find out some certain information on Black comic books. Go to our website, blackcomiclords.net. Check out all the dope stuff that's there. You can you can see all kind of stuff like, blogs, interviews. We have a new area called 5 Questions. And yeah, man, y'all go check that out. We just talked to we talked to Eve Ewing, asked her 5 questions, and she answered a couple of those questions. I don't know if she answered everything, but yeah. I see my man Sebastian is on there, Sebastian Jones. Condolences to him and his family. He just recently lost his mother. So send a prayer up for him this time. He's a part of this community, and Stranger Comics is one of the dopest independent comics out. So yeah, y'all do that. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and give the benediction. We're gonna go and get out of here. Benediction night comes from Matthew, the 22nd chapter, 22nd verse, the B clause. It says, "Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God all the things that are God's." From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich, with Angel, with Paul, with Derek, and Herschel. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you. Take care of yourselves. Love you. We out.